hope you guys are doing well today. Today is a Saturday and our broadcasting is the evening. So today, it's funny. I intended to go to the office. Yesterday we shot a student film from Plato Studios, called a short film here. I think I told you about it. And so we finished at around 7, 8 there, 8ish there. And I could not return the equipment to the person, the company where we rent the equipment from. So I had to take it today morning. And after returning the equipment, I had planned to go to the office and work a little bit. But I think this is the first time that I've given up going to town. And I gave up when I was literally in town. So I was driving, I reached Kubidi, you know Kubidi. And there was a lot of jam side the Kubidi. That's what they call Karerwe. And then I headed out to Sa Apollo. There was a lot of jam. And then I gave up. It was raining heavily. I just felt like if it was that hard for me to get into town, definitely it's going to be hard for me to come out of town. So that's how I ended up coming back home. I've worked a little bit and yeah. So, and then I had to come to the live broadcast, and then I think I'll work again later after my workout. I'm going to lift my weights. Weights and me now are something because they are home. But I hope your evening is fine. I just wanted to share why I think this is the best time to buy a car, especially out of bond cars. As bond is all, literally it's just going up. But outside the bond, this might be the best time for you to buy a car. And so if you had planned to buy a car this year and you have your money ready, this might be your time to actually buy your car. And I'm going to be sharing why. I'm sorting receipts. Now we need to have receipts with the tax thing is coming in Uganda. Yeah. And I ask for a receipt literally for everything. So there's no receipts. And then if you don't give me a receipt, you're supposed to sign somewhere. Because URA is not a joke. So these are receipts that I have to deliver to my person in the office on Monday. I just have to figure out the best place for me to keep them. Just start one. But I hope your evening is fine, guys. I'm okay. I'm healthy, and that's the most important thing. Hasoke Mbabuzeko, Hasbat, Paul Banaya, Valerian Selun Kuma, La Mek Titi, Godfrey Tambara, Paul Sema, Bukenya Abi, Rogers Ajuna, Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Hajara, how are you? Mpaka send the airport pickup. Katojibiri Twaha, Musema Saddam, how are you? Rastas in Milan, I left my car idling. When I came back after 10 minutes, it was Kupipira vibrating and the engine light came on. It wasn't accelerating normally. When I parked again after 1 hour, it was back to normal. That's strange. I leave my car idling sometime for a very long time and it has never done that. But it's possible that maybe a fuel pump is starting to fail. It's possible. It's possible. That could only be a fuel issue. There is nothing else. Because now the system, it's air, fuel, spark, air, fuel, spark, air, fuel, spark. Zahara Cabs, how are you? Nice and T. Mothikisa, how are you? Nathan, nze mvuga zonna, nenchanyizo ba mvuga ndala. Majwala Julius, Chris Fitness, chechiriwo. Micah has a habit of giving false engine check lights. There is no false engine check lights, Rastas in Milan. It's not there. You see, the car is like a human being. You see, by the time someone gets diagnosed with cancer, then they will trace back what was happening to them. Oh, there's this time I was having headaches, and oh, then there was this time I was having back aches, and oh, then there was this time I wasn't able to sleep for days on. You get? So there is no false check engine light, and then sometimes the car has a fault, and then it doesn't give a checking engine light. Like my car, I feel like there's something that is missing, but I'm going to go diagnose it at a machine that I know is much more advanced than normal machines, and then I see what exactly, because I watched the engine some time back, personally, and from that day, you remember the day I was parking and I felt something. It moves properly, consumes actually better now. It consumes better, but I still feel I should just check it out. but there is no false engine check light. Twayinza kuŋŋaana nti omutwe gunnuma accidentally nti omutwe gwange gumanyi okunnuma alumamu naye tekiwali kya no. The check, as long as the check engine light keeps coming back on, there is definitely something wrong. You should get it checked. Come Besigye, hi Kisa Mashadrak, hi Doug Meister, hi Nathan, in this steady Granny, Derek Fisher, Andrew Kawesa, high voltage, Hajara, Pius Luoa. I bought the Alteza Lexus version, but it's very nice. It has beams. It's almost like a Benz. Nabagamba. Toyota has alternatives to the Benz. And you know that I was watching a video, and this dude was saying a luxury Toyota is much better than an entry level BMW or an entry level Mercedes Benz or an entry level Lexus. No, this is not Lexus. An entry level Volkswagen. Like a high end Toyota is much better. Now the Lexus is like a high end Toyota. It's better for you to drive a high end Toyota than try to like the C200 basics. Those are entry level. The BMW G string, those are entry level. So I find that the Crowns, they have much more features than the entry level. Tumbo Habiri, how are you? Usama Hassan, Gaetano, Obado Bolanyo now. In a Tumbo Habiri, you have been lost for a very long time. You're not here, but I hope you're doing well. Yeah? I'm okay. I'm not sick. Normally, as long as you're not sick, you should be happy, right? As long as you're not sick. And for me, if I get the strength to go and lift my 15 kgs, I will back chitufu. Kutika 34, how are you? Kutka. Is it Kutka? Yes, Kutka. But I hope you guys are doing well. Now, in the past, it used to be that the best time to buy cars was between January and March. You remember that? I'm good, Mwesigwa Isaac. How are you, Isaac? What is steady? Even me, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm chilling. SPK Driving School, how are you? Chris Fitness Agamba, between washing and Okufu Wempeo engine, which is better? Of course, washing is better. But the water actually takes the real that. But you need to be very careful. There are things you need to cover. You need to cover the airflow meter. You need to cover what computer on the wall. You need to cover that thing. You need to cover a bunch of sockets. Then even the socket places, you need to cover those things so that we wash the things that don't get affected by water. And then normally after washing that car, you need to keep it's better you wash the car, the engine, when there is sunshine. And then you keep the bonnet open for like an hour or an hour and a half without driving that car so that the water actually gets out on its own. And then you come and start it and let the engine run for like 5 minutes. So that Firstborn, how are you? Tumuranzie. Bernard, how are you? Why is it that there are no heavy cars for Toyota? They are there. They are just not popular here. They are there. Bakola zi Costa. Bakola nebi bus. Bakola zi lorry. Zahalinga yo. Just really popular. Here, you know, like economies and people just accept stuff. Like how you guys have totally refused to buy the Fielder Hybrid. That was a good one. Of course, they are expensive. I'm going to talk about that briefly. After I heard that a 4-cylinder Alteza has a good performance than a 6-cylinder Alteza. And probably the 4-cylinder is the one that the Yamaha one. Of course, the Yamaha one has its own special things, but then that's where the trouble will come from. Which together. But still, me, I don't even, you realize I rarely talk about performance, which talk horsepower, because a bunch of those things make it look fancy. It doesn't, like in our country here, Bogenda ku Entebbe Express, for example. I've driven on the Entebbe Express, like yesterday I drove on the Entebbe Express about 4 times. I had to pick lighting, then I had to pick the cameras, and then today I had to go still and then come back. Entebbe Express, which is the road where you can probably go very fast, which is not risky. You're not going to find border guys crossing. Even on the receipt they give you at the toll, they have notices maximum speed limit 100 kilometers per hour. Kakatata performance when are you going to feel the performance? I find that yes, when you drive a car that has power, you feel it, enough power, but then what? Jerome, good evening. I'm going to talk about that briefly. I almost crashed in one around Natete. I'm planning to contest for the biggest potholes around Kampala roads. You'll never, because you have not seen all of them. Have you been to Chitezi? Eri Chitezi Wabi. Uh-huh. Chitezi, I think, is the worst. The problem with maybe the good thing with Chitezi is that you expect all the potholes, but there are places where you don't expect potholes. Like I was in Kololo and I hit a pothole and I didn't expect it there. STS Sounds, hi, how are you? So guys, it used to be that between January and March was the best time to go buy a car, especially the used one. We're not talking about the bond cars. I want you guys to understand one thing. The guys that want to buy cars from the bond, don't be thinking that there's a time when the cars are cheaper. No, those guys are open for business. Like they're like supermarkets. There is no time that the cars in a bond are going to be cheaper. They're just going to become more expensive. Like I'll tell you, a Vitz that used to cost 22 million last year costs 25 now. It's just going to get worse because now they are bringing in new wires, which makes the cars more expensive. However, in the past, it used to be that between January and March, best time to buy a car. Then it used to be that people are looking for school fees, and the men and women in the past were not they did not really have a lot of plans. They used to have kids. And sometimes I feel sad, people. I feel really sad. And this is something that I think I would be an advocate if that thing came for. For the guys that have families, abana bajja ne bakola ewamwe nga omwana mugezi nga maid, omwana mugezi nga that girl would have been in a family that had planned properly. Okitegeera yali badde asaana kuwa ku university naye nga because of the poor planning of our parents, omwana tagenze ku university, akomi mu senior 4, akomi mu senior 6 nga alina okugenda yeeyiye. Olumu ne muba nga mumuwa emitwalo gye 10-13 nga ate ezino okugenda mu bazadde. That is heartbreaking. Then you find young men on borders, a young man that should be in senior 5 on a border. Now we have normalized it. We have even normalized it. Somehow we feel okusoma degree tezina kyeziyamba muganda wange. Nze kati alina degree 2 senkana na muntu atalina degree 2. Okitegeera. And that's one thing we forget. We have even normalized the suffering bit. But ekyo kinnumamu nti abazadde bedda in the past, parents were not really cautious about the decisions they were making. They used to have kids for the sake of having kids. Kugaziya kika, nyazaala yatugambye tuzaala omwana omuwala, taata wange ayagala twongereko ku baana abo abaana batono, ffe mu kika ewaffe tuzaala abaana 10 and stuff like that. And because of that, it used to actually crush them. They would go to Christmas because they have huge families, so they spend a lot of money during Christmas. Now they come back from Christmas, and then kids have to go back to school, and then there is no money. And then during that time, people buy cheap plots. During that time, people buy cheap cars. Actually, guys, during that time, you would go to these guys, and you'd find expensive sofas, expensive huge TVs, all those things that people bought when they did not need before Christmas. People buy things they don't need before Christmas because it's Christmas. So before Christmas, people upgrade their TVs. Before Christmas, people upgrade their sound system. Then they buy sound bars. Before Christmas, people buy new cars. So sometimes they even buy cars on credit that they don't need. But simply, how do I go back to the village in the other old Corolla? And that was then. And then during January, when they're looking for school fees, and getting a loan in the bank was also hard those days. Things were not really digital. So there was a lot of stuff to be doing. So they would be selling stuff, including cars in January, Feb, to finish the school fees for their kids. So that's why the best time for you to buy cars is when kids are going back to school. Because apparently, every time kids were going back to school, parents would sell the things they bought without needing them, which included cars. You'd find someone buying a Noah, budget and a family car. And then you'd ask yourself, yes, you're buying a family car. How many times do you travel with your family? only on Christmas and Easter and burials sometimes, and probably weddings. People bought family cars for families they never even move with. Think about it. Go a family car. How many times do you actually move with your family? For the men, forget about the men that now go to church every Sunday. Fetwakulanga nga abakazi bagenda ku church n'abaana. Okitegeera. And then someone goes and buys a family car to just go for Christmas, and then after Christmas n'anoonya fees ne zibula n'agitunda. That's what used to happen. And then this happened mostly in January. Because after January, after the first term, then they start making money again. So second term, they would normally be sorted. Third term, they would normally be sorted. That was the culture then. Now, I'm talking about about 10 years ago. That's what happened. Let's see. Suna Akram, how are you? Arthur, I've like the Wish old model more than the Valvematic at 15. Can I get a good one regardless of the number plate? Yeah, if you don't care about the number plate, you will get. If you don't care about the number plate, Mugisha Fred, hi Arthur. What Toyota SUV combines comfort, function, and elegance? I find that if you want comfort, then you'll start with the Surf. Then you can go with the V8s. All those V8s are comfortable. But I find that I think comfort comes from the suspension. If the suspension is playful, then I find that you'll be much more comfortable. Of course, then that makes the car susceptible to falling. Chigo. But I find that the Surf is one of the most comfortable cars I've sat in. Even the V8s are comfortable, but I find that the V8s are much more comfortable from the mind, not actually. The car in itself is not that comfortable. Of course, now, they are stable on the road. But just driving a V8. Anyoyo? Kongo na nyoba kuulire kuba sigenda bayita. So I find that most of SUVs are not really that guys, I find that SUVs are not comfortable actually. And I'm not saying it oba kwekaza oba chi. I think everybody would be good driving SUVs. That's a story for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be telling you why your fathers and grandfathers prefer SUVs. Maybe then we will change what. Yeah, I'm going to be telling you. That's a story for tomorrow. Chitezi potholes connecting to Matuga. Haniate okuva wano kugundi muchiti wali okay. Because I drive there sometimes. Like now I go to class some days during the week and I come out of class at 9 p.m. and I cannot use the main road, so I have to use Chitezi, Chiti, and then Matuga. You get. And I find that from Chitezi to Chiti, the potholes are massive. But then from Chiti to Matuga, there are no potholes. That's a very clear path. Bari kudembe, ogambotia mganda wange. I've been missing for a long, Arthur. Thanks for the inspections. Madam loves the Raum, no problem at all. Amina, Ray. Nze uruenda wa muntunga. Abai, is someone hearing the gate? Kaini twafunye omukozi ompya simumanyi nalini. Guys, mbagamba storage nga tufuna omukozi wane wange. Omukozi nga tamanyi Luzungu. Jukira abana bange bo bamanyi Luzungu, tamanyi Uganda. Kati nga yene mukyala wange they communicate. Naye nga ffe abasatu tukiriimu. Okitegeera nga ffe we are not there. Nga badde eri mukyala wange n'omukozi ne boogera ebyewaabwe. Ennimi zammwe ojaku kirango simanye bikola bitya nga bo byogera eyo ffe tuli eno ne baba ffe we are alienated to the extent that Ragnar yagenda n'abuuza mami now what is this one doing here? Kasi twafunye omwana amanyi Oluzungu amanyi n'Oluganda. There is nothing as refreshing as getting a maid that knows English in this house. So now I felt good finally, but I don't know her name yet. We have to be careful when dealing with maids. Otherwise, madam might see other things. Ray, Amina, neyanziza nnyo bananga abasindika bakyala bwe tugule mmoroka mwebale. Can I get around 2008 under 20 million? I think it's possible, but most of the people that have a 2008 Raum, mmoroka yabwe bajagala kuba ekyali mpya. Remember 2008 model cars were sold last year. Now people the year before that and last year. So now people are selling 2010. Viola, ogamba otya. I have noticed parents of the 90s and 2000s messed up our population. They just gave birth without planning. Was it because of the stability they got after the 80s war? No, Chris Fitness. The people from the 90s and 2000s, they were not enlightened. There was no internet. The thing that happens with our generation is that we have exposed to information. You wake up in the morning, you can open YouTube and learn stuff. Which TikTok can give you stuff. If you know how to see, TikTok it's literally information. I'm literally learning all the time. Now, the people, those guys were not exposed to information. Government the religion byeyagalanga buli bibawuliranga nebazaalanga tebapulaninga okitegeera. Ismail Semukoteka kyekiriwo baba. Hey Arthur, good evening, thanks for the broadcast. Can I get a Mark II Grand in good condition regardless of... Yes, Mark II Grand toyagedde sente naye ng'osobola. Hajara kale tugende olugambo ate bwe sibagamba ani anabagamba olugambo bino mubijjawa. This is breaking news. Naye mwe we struggle here nga tulina omukozi atamanyi Luganda atamanyi Luzungu. Tamanyi Luzungu, like as in, and she was 27. But banange mukole nnyo kubaka toyo omukozi ayi 27 kitegeeza bamuzala around 1994 95 90 yeah, bamuzalaga 95 96. Omwana oyo kubanga tamanyi Luzungu kitegeeza abazadde be they messed up. Okitegeera kitegeeza they messed up. Teba planninga kuba oyo omwana kitegeeza teyagenda ko kusomero teyatuka yadde P7. Do you know what that means? Omwana obutatuka mu P7 okubanga tamanya de Luzungu wa how are you amazima. Hey, you be there and be joking nga boogera mu lwe waabwe fenga naffe ntunulira batunulire nti oyagala omugamba siba seat belt oyina kugamba mama baba namugamba njorongo kikira njorongo. Hey, Lamek Titi, between Mark X and Kruger, which one is easier to maintain and the engine doesn't disturb? All those engines don't disturb. Now, you guys, as you buy either SUV or saloon or sedan or vegetarian estate, it should be a preference thing. It should be a preference thing. Today, Kombozi Yafe. Arthur, is there a Platts at 7 million? No, it will disturb you. 7 million. Chikumi kaldina G-touring na yonzi kaldina chikumi chibina Ipsam. Ne Ipsam yomusanvu ino kubanga ampya. Kale, today Kombozi. Tubade tugamba, in the past, people would used to sell their cars during January to March. Awatunda ene motoka abasubuza abasinganga bazigula during that period, then never sell afterwards, because normally people would sell their cars cheaply, pay for school fees, and then collect more money to buy a car later. Era, if you noticed, mwabalinga begendereza fe twaite tubifa konze nali one of those boys that just lived by the day. But for the guys that used to notice abalinga mukomito mwabanga motoka, if you noticed, between January to around June, parents did not have cars abamu. Iranga baba bazirina tebazivuga. The goal was take the kids back to school, take the kids back to school, take the kids back. But this generation, in the yafe, generation in the yafe geza ko planning. Soka. One thing you need to understand that our generation, guys, let me say I do pre-purchase inspection when you're going to buy a car and you want to get a good car. This is how I keep the lights on for this channel. This is how I keep doing the live broadcasts, because we broadcast between 1.5 GBs to 2 GBs. So one way for us to keep this going, I do pre-purchase inspection. Of course, I do a very good job. I make sure you're not ripped off by anyone, seller or broker or dealer. I make sure you're not ripped off. I make sure you get a good car. Fetukola inspection is on nane computer to jana yo. We make sure that you get a car that is in tip-top condition, and we make sure you get it at a good price. And yeah, I come with a mechanic. Sentes what was covering after my time, the mechanic's time, and of course even the verifications. Fetukola verification, you know, from paperwork to make sure you're not buying a car that has a caveat, you're not buying a car that is not transferable and all that. And then we follow it up to make sure that you're happy at the end. So, and then that money you pay is only 450,000. It covers 1 day transportation between in the Kampala CBD. Yeah, but of course you need to book the day in advance. Yeah, you need to book. If you want me to do inspection, for example, on Monday, you call me today and then we program and then we still talk about it. So you book the day with 50,000. and then on the other day you pay the balance, the 400,000. And why is it important for us to talk about the cars you want to buy beforehand? It doesn't make sense for you to go into the market with money that doesn't buy the car you want, yet you want it. If you said everything at your there is a gentleman we were moving in with in the market. Natukanga imotoka mbutufu jayagala, you cannot buy it with the money yani babroka nibatandiko mugamba obato kuweno oba oguleno. That's the worst place for you to be as a person that wants to buy a car. So that's why normally I talk to people about the cars, and then we weigh our options, and if possible we probably zero down on options that can be bought within that budget. And then what's my role in all this? I am the guardian angel. I am there to make sure that you don't make the mistakes I used to make. I think I've said everything the people you trust, the mechanic, the broker. At the moment you trust this guy like this. You need to understand brokers are not bad people, but they're business people. For them, and the brokers don't work for a lot of money. So because they don't work for a lot of money, every day they need money. So it doesn't matter what he has to do, he has to get money. So you need to be very careful. They are doing business. There is a gentleman trying to get okebere moroka na twale wo muyindi. And then he was saying, "Oh no, muyindi, obisagala munyizo oyo mukwano gwange." And I told him that guy is not your friend. He's smiling because he has to smile. Ismail commenting njirabire ojongerako. Njirabye. So anyway, I do pre-purchase inspection. It will cost you 450k. I come with a mechanic. And we'll make sure you get a good car. 450. Then I sell car trackers. If you want, your car is an asset. It doesn't matter how much you bought it. The day they steal that car, that's the day you'll know. Now, what the tracker gives you is the power and ability to actually track your car after it has been taken. Then, of course, the alarm tries to scare people away. So I sell both those things. And then I have Android radios. Every radio comes with a camera. Yeah, free installation. You buy the radio and camera, both at 550,000, and we install it for you. The Android radio gives you the ability to actually watch YouTube in your car. Bluetooth connectivity is there. You can download all these apps that you want. You want your kids to watch certain videos. You put them. It comes with a flash port, and it comes with 32 GB internal memory. So you can literally get stuff and copy them onto the radio, so that every time you want to go, you just start without even a flash, and then you listen to the music. Yeah, so those are the 4 things I do here to make sure that, of course, we keep the lights on. Yeah, and then I think very soon I'm bringing for you compressor pika moka ngompira gwedde moka, and then neka tsoko baliko badire either befuda abatawulira oba tebawulira. So and then of course the jump starters. Let me see which comment have I not read. Arthur, thanks for the show. Can I get a Mitsubishi Outlander 2016 model? My contact is in the description of this channel. But Timothy, before you actually go buy the Outlander, I would like to ask you why you want to buy the Outlander. And then yes, if the reason why you want to buy the Outlander is actually very good, then go to the bond. Don't buy a used Outlander. If you buy a used Outlander, you're going to have trouble. Nobody's selling their Outlander used and they have peace with it. They are getting rid of it. So noli gwe twasembayo kanikira Outlander yagano tusasula yali echamuka era twagikola ekintu kitwagikola kyagiwonya, but exposed to an owner that doesn't know that problem, it will come back again. The issue with our generation is competition rather than complementing each other, which was not the case with the old generation. So looking forward, if you're not educated, so shall be the next generation. Yes, Bernard Odongo, I think, but the competition is not bad. The competition is not bad. Me, I find that as long as the competition is not followed by bad manners, you wanting to probably kill someone or wanting to see them broke or wanting, as long as the competition is like, you've gone here, I'm going there. You've gone here, I'm going there. That's good competition. Me, I find that competition is good. Just make yourself better. Don't try to push the other person down. I have no problem with competition in our generation. If for example I buy Samsung S21, go buy the S22. Don't throw away don't crush my S21 simply because you want your Techno Camon 5 to be better than what I have. You get it? So for me, competition is good as long as you're not crushing another person, as long as you don't want to see another person in the dust. You get me? I have no problem with someone being better than me. You get them being better than me is good because then I get the inspiration to try and be better myself. Ata kununua bilioni 8 wish. Buy the wish. Buy the wish. Hey, Arthur, Amina, Roderick Fosca, Salmina, Vanango, Wadoboze. Guys, like the broadcast. You're 63. Let's get 63 likes. Whoever the budget is a guy Tano. Pius Lubowa. Tracker, the trackers, I have a tracker for 350K. Yeah, that one is not voice activated. You cannot call it and listen to the people in the car. Then I have another tracker that is 450. That one you can call and listen to the people in the car. Now, for you guys that are buying cars, you're giving it to your woman, you're giving it to your man, you're giving it to your mama. You want to know, does my mama love me the way I love her because I've bought her car? Call and listen. The car is for business. Take away. Then, of course, the alarms. Alarms are very important, by the way. They alert you on activity. Alarms, kadate fengeje to installing alarms, installing. Yeah, I saw someone, Yadja, and I checked them for alarm installation, and they could, apparently, maybe they believed they could not afford me. They believe they could not afford me, so they got someone else. But we ended up redoing the alarm because Ori Ajite Kambobi, which tegira. Yes, Ben Kako. Arthur, what car would you advise someone with 10 million looking for a car that can do farm work? 10 million. 10 million. You're going to do farm work. I find that with 10 million, there are plenty of cars that you can get. Probably you could get a Sahara. Let me see which other car. You could get a Sahara. You could get the Ipsam. You could get the Ipsam. I find that Ipsam was one of you at least. Ipsam we pambana. Gendo gulechi Ipsam cho bachipa chigenda baku farm. Gulechi Ipsam cho milioni musambu sule emito teka mwe bivera chiteke ku farm. Osirike. Gemagezi genkuwa zile milioni 3 zongere mu farm. Chitegede KRC. Ben Kako, what's up? After how much do I need to have at hand to get Raum 2008, 2009? Was talking about a million. Nairindako. Morokwezi was nothing Kambon last time we asked. Last time we bought a Raum, probably million abidi munya. But that wasn't that in 2022? I'd have to ask how much it is right now. Abamba mchemani bajituna million ngavili musamvu. But I'm thinking at 20 million you can get. Nene Raum was on azote zida because the people, because they are very reliable cars. Abantu abasinga bazina tebazitunda. And the good thing with the Raums, zina technology mupya is MPS za 2.8. Chiza Tadeo VIP bana njala fura bantu VIP ngenda bako yakabidi akabalagirira ndikiriya nnyo anko kitambula kitya onkolidde omukono ate nkyakole ero oluva wano ngenda wali kusitulamu nsitula kilo 15 kati Chris Fitness simanyi obo chansobola kati ndi muzibu nnyo nsitulira ddala ate kati ebimba nabisawaka. Kawagama Enoch, how are you? All guys here, I thank you for reminding them, guys, like the broadcast, and then we continue. Hey, Arthur, lastly, for my case, help and wait for me, Noah, an Outlander, Mercedes-Benz C200, in terms of, both those cars are going to give you headaches. I'm telling you. Now, being able to see your get until Obachi, I was in the Vampako Benz, C200, I think it's a 2000 model. Yeah, it's 1998, 98 model. Oli na ajimpa nangaba, olifuna sente. Bolifuna sente omuntu oyo nyini gwenjogerako aina Benz ndozanga 3 mu lujja tazivuga avuga Mark X na Subaru mstegeera. And then he told me one time he was driving his Mercedes Benz nakube na mukubo nezikira lumu yategeera kye yakola genda kujanga idoli kwa gearbox ayisi. I think something hit the cranks yafulumye emitwalo 9. So but any day I think I'd buy the Outlander if I'm buying new. Bobo Jamu Bond, the Outlander would do better than a Benz. If you're buying used, I don't recommend any of them. Pius, let me look for money. I will need the tracker for my car. I don't sell KRC. I only do inspection. Enoch, isn't Hino a heavy duty Toyota product? That's something I have is remember this. But Hino is good. Hino is really good. Matha chichi. Matha otu sotwachi. Spatio new model and Raum new model. Which is better? It depends on your money. I find that the Spatio is overpriced. The Raum has very good pricing. But the people that like Spatio like Spatio. The Spatio kind of gives you the SUV feel. But to Spatio banga to them practice. Nchobango dinamo SUV feel. But the Raum is low. Then the other thing that people don't like about the Raum, which I see no problem with, is the doors, the sliding doors. That's normally where the problem is. New model of it says itambudeko milioni 18, 19, 17, 2. Like today, there is a Vitz, the one that has a 1.3. It's actually TDI sport version, better than the RS. Someone is selling it at 20. Was it? They have told me now 23. Yatandika atunda milioni 22 kati ya yongeza 23. TDI. Ero muntu ngaina milioni 23 eri Vitz eyogula. Eri musisiro kumbitana eringa Ractis. Sport inamanyi. Arthur, I saw the DSTV close Pearl Magic loco. Won't that affect the cafe scheduling? So this is what happens. This is what happened. And I think they saw it late. When they brought Pearl Magic in the beginning, that was good. And then they broke away Pearl Magic Prime. And then they diversified too soon. And then you realize that the content that was on Pearl Magic Loco was also on Pearl Magic. Which again, then at Matanko mixing, they got content from Pearl Magic Prime, putting it on Pearl Magic Loco. So what they did is they merged Pearl Magic and Pearl Magic Loco. So right now they have to reschedule stuff. They haven't actually renewed contracts with most people. Enough for Telanaba. So we have not shot new episodes of the cafe, but we are keeping our fingers crossed. So waiting for the new scheduling, which I think they had like spread out too fast, and then the spreading out wasn't really paying off. Which Alteza Antonio Nakuzino because Bwefe Tama. Actually comfortable. The Alteza is not comfortable. Even new stars are expensive. Anyway, katudeyo kumulamu agwafe. Why I think this is the best time to buy cars. In the past, the best time was between Jan and March. As a matter of fact, I was at the between Jan and June. March, Jan, around April, parents wali tebavuga. Ngabachi asasuida bana fees. Then after April, nebadamu nebavuga. That meant that between Jan and March, cars were cheap to buy, especially buying used. And then April and above, cars were expensive. Because after that, I was at the babanga ba pikinze. But culture in Nakuzna, bazade ben Nakuzno ba fe. We are planned. We plan. That's what I can say. It's very rare to find someone selling their car for school fees. How many people have you seen about the Moroka fees because of school fees? Almost never. Because people like Arthur, people like Chris Fitness, people like JK, first of all, baza alabana batono beba sobola. Secondly, batu alabana masomero geba sobola. Thirdly, these people have multiple streams of income. In the past, people used to have in the past, people used to have one job, anti-professional teacher, professional secretary. These days, abana baina side hustle. So kata abana sent is called basic needs because school fees are basic needs. So it's very rare to find someone selling their car because of school fees, which killed the January-March thingy season of buying cars. June, January to March. Now these days, I find that the best period for you to buy cars is actually after the kids have gone back to school. Do you know why? When kids go back to school, so when the kids go back to school, buffet to start fees, banga fee. We are not like our parents. We don't want to pay half. So what my generation does, they pay all the amount at the beginning of the term. They abantu ba generation yaffe tuzisasula nezigwayo nga tamu etandika. Kati batumala okusasula sente zo nezigwayo nga tamu etandika. Nitukola kune zizine ndala zeetagisa. Kati bwosanga abantu nga asasula fees nezigwayo, then nga atai nayo ne ku black tax. black taxi wamwe abamu abaina black taxi ebiseera ebisinga alimu togarawo open a little there thank you. So abamu black taxi wamwe ogattako neki ogattako ne fees z'abaganda bamwe fees z'abakizibwe okitegeera. So there are so many of those needs that you have to take care of, and by the time the kids have actually gone to school for like 2 months because it's maybe 3 to 4 months, by the time those kids are in school actually tuba tuwedde mu generation yaffe tetuba baavu naye we are not comfortable. You find that someone who is used to having okubeerawo ne million ebbiri nga zitudde tezirina okitegeera kwegana teziriko obligation kati ayinamu 5,000 kati nga yeetaaga ssente. And we are getting enlightened to understand that okay, a car is actually just a tool. A car is not a signal of wealth, is not a signal that I'm well off and all that. So kati nga agamba naye omwezi guno sisobola kugitunda. And there is something that happens Jan, Feb, March, April, May. Kati Jan, Feb, March, everyone is literally sorted. They have money, bichi bitambula. April, May, sente zekwata. Okitegeera. Why? Ababbi ba government bana abali mu local council, abali mu ministry bani bakwata sente. Tebazifulumya. Bapulaninga ngeri gye bagenda zibba kuba bazibba awo mu June. Nga budget tennasomwa ne bazibba mbungi. Then they be pretending that Rachi bazibba mbungi because sente ezo, if you don't use the budget you are given, that money has to go back to government. But if you use it, it won't go back. So kati wano bali esaawa eno batandise okupulaninga okitegeera tujja zifulumya tugambe twazikozesa ki tujja gamba twazikozesa ki. Now they are planning how to steal that money. So now this period you're planning okubba sente nkalu sente si nyingi nnyo mu circulation okitegeera. Now this is a theory that you research purely on speculation. You see what is happening for the past 2 years when badde nkola inspection. This is the period when people are not buying as many cars. Between March and June, people are not buying as many cars, but people are selling cars. Because this period sente zeekutte. Kati eno period yenunje yoguliramu emmotoka after June bagenda kuba batadde sente jukira budget egenda abesomeddwa sente nkadde nga bazikyayise mu circulation tebagadde zizaayo then n'empya nazo zifuluma. You get what I'm saying? Kati abafulumya sente bagenda kuba batandise okufulumya. So after June it will be the worst time to buy a car. You get what I'm saying? But if you're going to the bond, it doesn't change. Ngaba mwabagule mmoroka nkadde. The season is now. This is the now between March and June is the time when used cars, not bond cars. This is the time when used cars are going to be cheap. Now, this is the time that cars are going to be cheap for you. So, if you want to buy a car right now, this is your time. So, Kalema Dixon, how are you? Nicholas Seulime, how are you? Yeah. Nico, abasada wabononye Nico otambula. So guys, March to June, ye time oyogule motoka. March to June. Kati nchirabye emyaka giri ebiri nali nga nchiraba nga sikisaako naye kitadde kukati obwongo. People are selling cars. Let me give you an example. A hybrid Toyota Fielder in the bond ya million ngana musatu. There's someone here that talked about the Fielder. You remember? Budget ne million asatu mwezo. Hey, eri ku UBQ. They shipped it themselves. Tata we yagishipinga. Netuuka wano tata wo banafuna mbuzi bagitunda babuliddwa agigula. Abasuuzi bagigulaga. But that Fielder in the bond would be 42, 43, which take it 40. They're selling it 35. No one is buying. And there are so many other cars that have been sent to me. But I tell people, man, city broker. There are people that inbox me, what would it take for you to try and get me? What would it take for you to post for me? But I've told you before, the only cars I post on this platform are the cars ngaze najinonya. Obanze naji inspecting anganyimanyi ate da wembasi naji posting I first look at it. Nenjirabo obulungi bwayo bugiriko. Bwinjirabo obulungi bwayo bugiriko, then I can post it. Ningamba abantu wange, you know what? I inspected this car. It's good. So you guys come and buy it. But Emoro kanji just simanyi siji posting. I can talk about it, but I don't post it. Other thoughts on the Toyota Aqua hybrid. The Aqua is the normal hybrid. Those cars are hybrids. I want to test it. And you know, I cannot really comment so much because there are people that say it's really good. And then the people that have had the hybrids are saying the hybrids are very problematic. Katiao. The one thing I can tell you, I can only tell it to you after I've driven that hybrid for like a week. Sente zange zijipangisa nzirina. I have my money. Ezipangisa hybrid eyo njivuga kumara wiki ngeyange njipakinze. Then I will report. First of all, the one thing you need to understand about the hybrid, if it gives you anything less than 25 kilometers per liter, it's worthless. Awoba tokola. Oyina kubanga hybrid eyo bojivuga. Esinga emmoroka zine endala zonna ezisinga kilomita kitone nnyo 10, because the Raum will give you about 13, 14, 15. The Vitz will do the same. In emmoroka ekola kyekimu osegera wish valve batik esobola okuwa 15 kati the hybrid webe kwa kilomita 2 oba tokola, because first of all the hybrid is expensive. Kati nga budget ateno Prius eri mu milioni 45 kati to it why are you buying a car 45 million? Nga ate bwenefa is going to be very expensive to you to repair. Naye nga ate yongera mu kilomita 5 zokka. Osegera, it doesn't make sense. So I want to test it and see if it gives us the fuel efficiency that we need. Togarao. I want to see if it gives us the fuel efficiency that we need as we people that want. Because the biggest reason why we are buying hybrids is so that we save money on fuel. Nainga cho ino kumanya, it takes a lot of money to repair a battery when the battery breaks down. Now why am I taking? I thought it's going, when the battery is going to cost me 4 million, nainga ate savings a cent. You'd rather buy a Wish Valvematic and be there. Yeah, but the Aqua, if you find it mubonding anunji, you can buy and rent it to me for a week. Which take it. Your math is always mathing. Ate bota mathing tunabangire. Tubate tuyinza kumalako. After how much is the Toyota Kluger? Is it an SUV? Kluger ibera SUV. Which take it. SUV is a fee. But the Kluger is good. The Kluger, you can get it even at 20 million, a used one. I take at Mweno period, I'm thinking it can even go up to like 18, 17. Mweno period. Guys, this is March and planning go moroka next year atogenda genda mu bond. Plan to buy your car between March and June. Which take it. A used one. Say a bond. A used one. I tell you guys, when you talk about Toyota Kluger, don't talk about the 2012 model. We are talking about the first models, 2006. Ezo. Kuruga kajambia. That's what I'm talking about. Chitegera. Atha ndi wano mu spasio yange mvuga nkutadde ku Bluetooth amina kimujobu ne yanziza. Chiti Amwesi Aliseni, you're welcome. You're welcome, my brother Chiti Amwesi. Nasoma ngane ganga bamwita Chiti Amwesi nga tuzantubena na yemwe mudidi ku somero. Boba akubanga ngoma. Nokuzanyazanyanga by the way Chiti Amwesi. Nenga Chiti Amwesi ayagala abakazi. Chiti Amwesi yali ayagala abakazi. Kali kavubuka nkatuluka nenga akayagala abakazi. Nga ini wali wechikazi nga chali wakachi. Nenga nako kali kajira. Akasajja ka Chiti Amwesi kali ka mutawana nnyo. Yiri nyidala bali okayitana. Pofe twakayitanga Chiti Amwesi all the time. Kali kava Masaka. Manyi bana Masaka twalinayo Chiti Amwesi nga tulinayo Dewo. Kati oligayo omulala yali omumpe bali bamuyitani yavanga mukono. After in June, what car can I get for 4 million? 4 million, leave it, Zahar. 4 million, keep your money. That's my advice. For now, keep the money. Guys, anyone that has money that doesn't maybe make 8 million, and at 8 million, you're not even picky about which car you buy. I'm telling you. You don't have 8 million and you say, me, I want a Spacio. You get it? At 8 million, we are looking for a car that is good. We are not looking for a specific type of car. Now, for you guys that have 4 million, my brother, sister, so cause subule muzizare. That's my advice. Nzenga Arthur akwagaliza ate sikumanyi. Arthur, I want a golf for purely as an enthusiast. What budget you can get a good golf for at like 10, 12. Ebera nungi. Negie ejja kuba namu. Then the ones where you'll get in a gear agenda for years, you can get them at 7, 8, 6 away what you. Which take it like the golf fours. I had go for by that. Na inako go for netu kwata nga tujitunda go for netu kwata. Go for nga fuyagia na inga go for nyo amafuta yansikira kokone mulago. Na inga go, you know the thing with German cars, you drive them na ulidango limu machine. Na yaba go for ya yatabuka gear. Go for yatabuka gear. Can I get a good Mark-X at 14? Yes, you can. Just don't be picky. Just look for a Mark-X that is good, that looks good. Don't be picky, but you beat you. You get it? I mean, a Bruce M. Pius Boa, Zahara 4 million. Zrang and Daba Zahara, send Zazi Tedeke Zahara. Million Zimpole. Zimpole so considered them about 1 to Gabanama Goba. Zidated to the Tema about compressor. Compresses as if become a jump starter. Abantu bano bwetuleta tugabana amagoba otwaleko wotwala 70% ntwala 30% ku magoba gwirete akasentu soke tukazaze takazaza mu minuni ngajijo ngo wizeza milioni 10 ngogule moroka yovunanyizibwa chichobe Nelson wansubiza rimu rimu nezifuka rimu Nelson, I want a Ractis or Sienta and my budget is 1920. Which one is better? Me, I find that the Ractis is better. It's much more comfortable. Sienta is not bad, but the Sienta is not comfortable. According to me, I've sat in a Sienta, I've sat in the Ractis, but the Sienta is not as comfortable as the Ractis. So buy the Ractis. Agule bajaji koze Nasa tokubye nnyo kati nfune meka for a simple car. Which simple car? Bera ne milioni nga 5-6 ogule Starlet, ogule 10, ogule Chibina, ogule Marino, ogule Ceres. What other car is there? 5-6. Ate those cars don't be picking, but I want UAM. But that is very old. As long as you get a car that looks good, that is moving. Total nikakubaya na hizo senti notanga I want a car that has working AC. With 6 million for actually even with 10 million, don't even with 15 AC moleke ojam I'm telling you. Faba ina korole kura. Bana korole tena najeraga. Yesterday I saw the usefulness of having a second car. Omuntu wango yavuga korole tuliyo ku set twaleyo bagitayo. Mu apartments abakageye entebe ngo yingide ye garuga musegede those apartments that are deep down there. We are going to shoot, and then the person where we had the cameras from gave us one lens that's not good, and we had one lens. So I called my guy namugamanyi jangu anogenda tuno nako because we had to shoot at another location na iso kogeno no lens. And then he went, picked the lens, came, we shot, he even helped us there. Then he drove us to the next location. Then afterwards, he went, I was still directing. He went, picked Mama Ban and the Abans, and then he brought them to me. Having Kora Taina Najiraga, Kora Yanyangu is Zobulam. So you're Taina Jiraga. We say it. But anyway, Zahara, 5 to 6 million is a Morokazem Gambi. You can get a G-Touring, Chikumi, Chibina, Camry, the old Camry. If you have a good chance, you can get a Mark II Musota. I'm saying if you have a good chance, and I'm saying that's strictly for this period. Kane karibu Karina nechikumi kumi zali. Those cars are good, but of the cars that you have talked about, the only car that she can get at 5 to 6 million is the Karibu. The Karina and Chikumi Kumi will probably be like 9-10 if they are good. In June we are together. Sure deal. I don't mind the number plate. Today you have spoken what I wanted to know. Now I'll drive a bafe. See, na Martha, Martha, what have I said? Martha, how can I get a driving permit? You WhatsApp me, Nelson. WhatsApp me, I give you my person. You WhatsApp me. You'll have your permit in a very short time. You WhatsApp me. Martha, ngamba chonjo gede sichitegede. So guys, the best period to buy a car is between March and June. When the generation year, because right now Gen Z is what no millennials are still ruling, because the millennials are in 40s and 30s now. Then the Gen Z were in their 20s. Then there is the Generation X. Yeah. And the Generation X is yeah. Generation X. Babinho. We'll discuss that another day. Mark 2 they are on 6 million. And no pious. Anti kat Mark 2 zilimwe bika bibiri. Wale Mark 2 ya beams ni wabayo ni Mark 2 ya kali akaka ingini akanywa amafuta kalinga akatume. Mark 2 eza beams zilinga million nga musamuna enungi. Omanyika tinze anenze simanyo oba omuntu bajogule muro kuba nange mubererako piki. Kirabika. Anyway guys, my time to go to ineda chikanya. Musoke mungambe. Bani abaguze motoka ne batantwala ku inspection. Tewekweka waliwo nangambe yaguza alteza ya Lexus. Ani omulala. Mutugambe motoka ze mwaguze mutubuli na experience yazo so that people here know what cars they should be buying. Ochitegera. Toti ya kugamba Athan naguze. That's what I normally tell you. There is free information on this channel. You can use it and then go buy a car on your own. You come here and tell us, you guys, I bought this car and it's as good as this. I'm supposed to do the wish valmatic review. But somehow, my day is disorganized in Bambira Likida. Sagara kusoma. Kwekulia assignment z'ekintu ekikulu zimenya. Hasmart, Paul Banalia, Valerian Sedum kumamwe bali kubeera ko. Thank you for being live. La Mextiti, Godfriend Tambala, Paul Sema, Bukenya Abe, Rogers Ajuna, Mogalasi Joshua Mixfarm Hajara, Katoji Biritwaha, Musema Sadam, Rastas in Milan, Zahara Cabs, Nathan Timo Chisa, Majwala Julius, Ruburo Chris Fitness, Rastas in Milan, Kambesije, Kitha Mashadrak, Dogmeister, Nathan Nkumazi, Derek Fisher, Andrew Kawesa, High Voltage. Yes, Pius Luwa Tumbu, Habiri Usama Hassan, B Kagaitano, Kutka 34, Mwesigwa Isaac, SPK Driving School, Firstborn, Turamuzanye Barnett, Dennis Musime, Jerome, Babasuna Akram, Joseph Bali Kudembe, Ray, Hajara, Henry N, Namatovu Viola, Ismail Samkoteka, Kenneth Okilan, Martha Naruoga, Baba LSTA Sounds in Kumaze, Bernardo Dongo, yes, Wasa Roderick, Fosca, Timothy Wodiana, Awakening Uganda, Mubiru Vincent, Skayaz C, Ben Kako, Chizata Deo VIP, Salmina, Amazena Arakakoro Alero, Kawagama Enoch, Timothy Wodianya, Banang, Iria, we went down Banga, Abadetanalida Bako. Frank Waswa, Nabimanya Kevin, Mbozi Teba Ankade, Nicholas Sebulime, Kalema Dixon, Musime Kim Job, Ronald Ad, Chitiamwes Aliseni, Bruce M. Pius Nakumaze, Nelson Chobe, Matembe Abdur Nasa, Besigenensi Kenneth, Muloza Sivamaze, Morris Kyle. I thought I want an Alteza car. How much? Alteza better than million kumina nyakali. Ngete we on the number and millions of kumina nya. Good on the condition. Wogendo hujigula. Baba, last time you told me I should have a car cause my budget. So today you drew a good picture. Oh, okay. I should leave a car. Anti na yekati olabe ze moro keraze nkugamba. Ere sawe na amazima ngabo yemba manya abantu banga ba following for the love of cars. Nyine moro kanga sikulingo bene irajigula. Okitegeda. Ngasiru nzogerako, but right now at this moment there are those cars that I don't recommend that you buy. However, if you must, that's why I give you those cars as options. Which take it. Hi Eddie. I've once owned Primo Chikumi, Raum, RAV4, but I think starters should go for Chikumi. I think Chikumi million monana mwenda. I'm really eager to buy a Mercedes-Benz W201 190 gireke. Farouk 190 ya carburetor. Okuja nga bagikyusa ne bagiteekamu engine etali ya carburetor. But moroka ya carburetor etawanye Kampala. First of all, carburetor cars, there are very few mechanics that can actually work on them now. But that's a story for another day. Or the baby Benz or the 124. I'm not going to put my guys down until I attain one of these. Yeah, but buy modern cars right now. Even the Benz mechanics will tell you, buy a car that is 2001 model or above. The spares for the older ones, they are very rare. It will be very expensive for you to maintain. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. I don't take you for granted. Don't forget, I do pre-purchase inspection. I sell trackers. I sell car alarms. And for the guys that have wanted to do digital marketing, you have a business that is struggling a little bit, come and enroll for the digital marketing class. We start next week. I had an open day this week. So next week, we start classes. You should WhatsApp me when number yo mchara akola ku bintu bya enrollment. The digital marketing course will cost you only 300,000 shillings for 1 month, and trust me, you will not come out the same. Compare for me the password Chibina Hassan nedda ndeka nawe. How do you compare a password to a Chibina? Nedda nganye. Watongola nganye. How do you compare a password to Chibina nganye? Guys, I'll see you tomorrow evening. The broadcast will start at 5:15 p.m. Tomorrow I'm going to be telling you why the SUV is very popular with the people in their 50s and 60s, and why, Mugisha Fred, and why the SUVs are no longer a big deal for us and should not be a big deal. Tomorrow is what I'll be talking about, guys. I wish you a very lovely evening. Don't drink and drive. Ciao.